So Rich, 16 years working in Medellín real estate. How would you summarize the experience in 3 words?
Been a blast.
Been a blast. There you go. Enjoying life in Medellín.
Best city in the world. Couldn't get me out of here.
We've been on some adventures on this channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking to Rich about Medellín real estate. It's 2023. It's a whole new world. The dynamics have changed. We're going to give you an update about prices per square meter, what areas are up and coming, which areas are the old-time favorites, what you can expect buying and renting out. Is it short-term or mid-term? Which is your best play in terms of generating rental income? We'll go into that as well. We're standing outside C36. We've just had a nice little cafe session here in Clemente. Beautiful cafe. You just sold a property here? What's going on up here?
About 3 months ago. Yep. Yeah, real cute little 2-bedroom.
Okay.
He actually owns a place around the corner, a very expensive loft, but he wanted a second smaller unit.
Okay.
And it's really nice. I mean, beautiful layout, perfect location. Just right on the edge of Provenza in Linde.
Nice. How big are we're walking the talk.
Okay.
You know, traditionally, they were building 120, 130 meter apartments. Nowadays, what are the new developments?
Well, most of them are doing a range in Poblado. Let's just talk El Poblado for right now. And I'd say a lot of them are starting, you know, 90 to 100 square meters, going up to maybe 150, 160.
Yeah.
I'd say it's sort of the typical range.
Okay, great. And prices per square meter for new construction like this these days?
Well, all over, of course, all over Colombia, but in Medellín, in Poblado, which is the most expensive real estate, we're now in that 11 to 12 million per square meter and climbing. It's not going down. We've gone up every year since 2002.
Yeah, so, I remember when 11 to 12 million was like the top of the Bogota real estate.
Top of Bogota is up to 15 now.
Yeah.
And Cartagena, same thing. They're both Stratus 6, 15 million easy.
Okay, so we're walking in Linde, which is, it's getting a lot more attention lately.
Oh, no, it's always been cool. Look,
yeah.
Back 12, 13 years ago, we sold a place in here.
Yeah.
This used to be one of the coolest hotels, but now there's so many new hotels. It's sort of a passe. But what's really cool about Linde is this bamboo forest right here. There's a little creek and a bamboo forest. And we're going to come up to a building. It's about 35 years old, but we've sold 4 units in there. It's very popular. Rents like crazy, but they love that sound of the gurgling brook.
Yep.
And you'll see the bamboo in a minute, and it's just like its own little world. And yet, you're a 5-minute walk to Provenza.
So, you know, after speaking with the guys behind the Wake development, they're obviously very focused on La Linde and Astorga as places to develop new buildings. What types of properties are you working with, and are people buying to live or to rent out?
Oh, wow, good question. Well, first of all, we've got about 270 listings of all types. Studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, penthouses.
Hola.
In all different parts of Poblado, Sabaneta, Envigado, Laureles, and a little bit out of town, but mainly those 4 areas. And oh, by the way, here's the building. This is Monticello building. And you can see the bamboo there. Beautiful.
I mean, it's one of Medellín's strongest suits, right? The integration with beautiful natural surroundings.
And always green.
Always green.
I mean, think about it. We're in a tropical paradise that never gets hot and has no bugs. I mean, where can you do that anywhere in the world?
It's a little Goldilocks zone, and that's obviously why there's been a bunch of new interest right now. I would say the word is officially getting out. Where do you think this goes from here? And in terms of like, you know, sales and investment from foreigners, what have you noticed in 2023?
Sam, I think it's finally started to happen. It's been linear growth with foreigners since 2006.
Right.
Never did exponential, never did that sharp kick, which I always thought it was going to. And then when the pandemic slowed things up, but now it seems to be going into overdrive.
We're on the elbow.
Well,
we're on the
I think last year we probably had it's going to be our biggest year of price increases here. Somewhere over I don't know what is exactly, somewhere between 10 and 12%.
Yep.
And we're on the same trajectory this year.
Yep.
So, and you know, things like Medellín getting voted by Travel + Leisure as like the #1 city in the world for remote working, that doesn't hurt us. Bolting off in not only demand, but also rental market. In the States, people are looking now, you know, trying to diversify out of the dollar, looking for other opportunities. With the dollar at 5,000, you're buying places here the same price they were 7, 8, 9 years ago. Even though prices have more than doubled here. So it's like, it's really strong right now. We're having a record year in sales.
So where do you see the currency going from here? Like, obviously, you know, people have brought in dollars 2010. Some of their properties have increased a lot in the peso value, but not US dollars. So where do you see it going from here?
Well, first of all, I don't really care which way the dollar goes.
Because you're living here.
Well, no, but I'll say somebody in the States, they come down here and they double their property value in pesos, but they send it back to the States, they won't make near as much because the dollar strengthens. Well, do what I just did. I just rolled over CD at Bank Colombia for 3 years at 19.5%. You know, so earn 19% and live like a king down here, you know, and spend your pesos. So we're in amazing positions.
Okay.
And we bring up a good point. The only really risk you have is currency risk. But if you got to have your pesos back to dollars in a certain period of time, then you're taking a risk. You know.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, how do you go wrong getting 10% a year plus another 7 or 8% on rental? You know, 16, 18% non-leverage return.
What are people buying for lifestyle or ROI when they're coming to you?
All the above.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You want to get some umbrellas? What do you think?
Give a rate? Okay. I think it's a drizzle.
We have some strictly lifestyle, some strictly rental, and some are hybrids. They'll use it like 1 or 2 months a year, and then they'll rent it the rest of the time.
So there's obviously a lot of hype about Airbnb. I'm getting approached by a lot of people who want to get into Airbnb arbitrage here. They're looking for short-term rental, building. Just give me anything that I can rent on Airbnb, right? What's your opinion on that? I know we've talked about this a little bit. Is short-term the way to go right now?
Sam, let's go, Chris. I'm actually preparing a special paper on the Airbnb. I'll send you a copy. Feel free to share it with your people. Because Airbnb is my biggest bugaboo right now. Okay. And the reason I say that is, let's go back 60, 50 years ago. I don't remember when the first copy machine came out. It was at Xerox.
Yeah.
And pretty soon everybody says go copy, say go Xerox this for me. And then later, search engines came out. You start searching, but now you don't search it, you Google it, right?
Google it,
Well, now I get people saying that Airbnb in it. Well, Airbnb is just a platform.
Sure.
It's just like HomeAway or Expedia, Booking.com. It's just a means to rent your place. You're gonna rent it maybe for a week, for a day, for a month, for a year. But what people in the States have in their mind is Airbnb daily rental like a hotel, thinking that's the way to go. And it's just BS, because what they should be saying is, where can I make my most money, my highest return? What's my highest ROI? Whether using Airbnb as a platform or anything else, what about ROI? Just because it's short term daily doesn't mean it's having a good ROI.
But generally, or sometimes it has meant that, right? Like when like 10 years ago in these markets, you know, compared to a long-term rental where you're doing 3, 4, 5% net, we were getting 14, 15% net ROI with the Airbnb short-term rental.
It was never that much of a spread. Let me put it this way, back in the day, before Airbnb, if you could rent in your place short-term at about 65% occupancy rate was the same as 100% long-term. So roughly, that still holds. So it all depends, you know, on how much can you keep a place full. And you know, you can't keep a hotel full. You're going to have occupancies, and on short term, you're going to have turnover. You're going to have more wear and tear, more damage, more inventory missing, more parties, more noise, more complaints. You get the worst kind of tenants on the daily rentals, as opposed to people renting 3 weeks or a month, or 3 months or 6 months. And so if you can maintain a occupancy on long term, you're going to make more money long term. It just, plus Airbnb, the property managers charge more to manage short-term. They're much more work. Plus, you pay more because 95% of the apartments in Colombia can't rent short-term because by law, you gotta have a special permit. So you're paying a premium. So when you run the numbers, the ROI, just crank the numbers out and see what you get. Whether it's a short or long term, look at what the final return is.
Okay. So where are you seeing the winners and losers in the people who are coming in looking for these for ROI?
Well, I don't know if there's any losers. I mean, as long as you buy a place that's a good location, you know, you're gonna be fine. It's right now, the net rental yields on average are between 6 to 8%, maybe 9. We're getting back close to double digits, which we did about 12 years ago. And one of the side things about Airbnb is, in 2015, when it came on the market, it had flooded the market with new inventory. Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry was renting a place out, and then they started clamping down. A lot of inventory now, because of prior permits, is disappearing. But for about 4 or 5 years, rental rates weren't going up as fast as appreciation. Now, I would say they're even, maybe rental rates turns even a little bit higher. So we're getting back close to double digits. And I say net, I'm talking about net, including proper management before taxes.
Got it. When people are looking for an Airbnb property, if it's being sold as an Airbnb, it's being sold as a business, and it's usually sold on the cap rate, right? Like people, I mean, that's why I think some of these prices are being sold ridiculously, like compared to where they've been dramatically higher recently, because when somebody is selling, oh, this is my Airbnb property for sale, they know the rental income, and therefore can charge these premium prices. So like I'm seeing this shift from properties being priced per square meter to being priced by the net ROI that you can generate using
that works as long as, number one, you get accurate information from the seller.
Right.
Because a lot of times the rental records are incomplete, or sometimes they fail to mention they were managed themselves instead of using a property manager. So there's a lot of you got to really get in and dig through those numbers to see what's really real, and then you need to agree upon a cap rate, because it used to be 8%. Right now, I'm not even sure what it is. It may be 9, 9.5 now with the rates, you know, everything going higher. So it's sort of tricky, but you know, if you can get accurate numbers and run your cap rate, you can certainly base it on a sale on a cap rate.
Okay.
You know? So
we've seen that, you know, property management, I think, is the key piece. I know that was one of the big lessons from one of the ventures we were in, was, you know, the property management is the determining factor whether you're coming in at a, you know, a headache or a high ROI investment. So what is the, how do you track down and find a great property manager in Medellín?
Whoa, good question. Well, let's just say there's a lot of property managers now, and some are good, some are bad, some are good for a while, some have problems managing growth, which can always be a problem for any company. Is as you grow from managing 30 properties to 100, you know, you staff accordingly, what happens. So it's a tricky business, but basically, you know, I say find one you trust with good references, or interview 2 or 3 of them. You can always change them, you know, if they're not performing. So, and you know, we can help people with that.
So we're walking to one of the listings for sale. Where do you see this going? Right now, we're hitting that elbow of that exponential growth curve. What happens next? What does a bubble look like in Medellín, if there will be one?
Yeah, well, we haven't had one since 2002 because there's no leverage here. 95% of the apartments are paid for with cash. So unless you borrow money somewhere else or do new construction, there's no leverage. So there's no leverage, there's no pressure to have to sell a unit when times are tough, or when there's recession, and your carrying costs are very low. So we're showing no signs of a bubble, you know, and the market is still a great undervalued market.
What about signs of an oversupply on the rental market? Like at the moment, like, okay, so we've got a few years here of, I think, more growth coming at an exponential rate. You know, Medellín is ideally, it's perfectly lined up to receive this great migration and exodus of people from the north,
Yeah.
who want a better bang for their buck, who want to stay in the same time zone,
Right.
and have a higher quality of lifestyle. So, you know, where do you think it could get frothy, and like to be careful if you're going to move into that side of the market, whether it's 1-bedroom short-term rentals or anything else?
It's, you know, it's been amazingly steady for the last 20 years, basically. And the rental market is picking up steam. It's catching up for lost time, because for a while it had too much Airbnb inventory, but is now a lot dissipated because of new permitting requirements. So the rental market's hot. Rates are going up. Occupancies are going up. I won't be surprised if we start getting 10% net returns on rentals very, very soon here. So it's been an amazing market here. And think about this. How many places in the world can you say where real estate prices not go down 1 year in the past 20 years? You know, I can't think of any.
It's been on a tear.
Yeah, well,
an absolute
on a
tear.
Steady tear.
Yeah.
Not crazy. But
yeah, but it's starting. I'm starting to feel that crazy, that frenziness. Like,
I'm feeling the same thing.
There's,
I just doubled my sales force in the last 4 months.
There's a fever in the residential market, but also in the funds. There's big institutional money earmarking funds for Medellín real estate.
I don't know. All I know is the commercial activity has not even slightly slowed up here.
Yeah. So one of the complaints is all these hills. I don't mind them. I think it's great to get the heart pumping and the oxygen pumping. Yeah.
When you're 78, Sam, say that to me.
Well, that keeps. I think you're doing all right, right? It's been a good lifestyle.
Yeah.
What would your lifestyle be if it was in Florida or Texas?
I'd be in a nursing home playing dominoes and horseshoes, waiting for the doctor to come see me. No, you live longer, better, healthier here. The weather, the climate, the people, the food, cost of living, positive energy.
All right, we're going downhill now. We can talk better. New visa situation. What are you looking at? About $65,000-$70,000 for an investor visa. That'll get you 5 years of visas, but you got to be here twice a year.
Yeah, once every 6 months.
Once every 6 months.
And then in 5 years you can go permanent. You may have to renew it 1 or 2 times, but
right, you get a 2 or 3 year at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 150K is the next step.
Yeah, I can't remember all the details now, but the only big difference is I think your requirements for being in country are a little bit less. But otherwise, they're both very similar. Yeah. And they both do the job.
Okay.
Here we are right here.
Nice. All right, so we're going to check out a property for sale right now, so you can get an idea. It's in one of the distinctive red brick Medellín apartment blocks. Let's go check it out. All right, so we just looked at a beautifully designed apartment, 580 meters. It's about $1 million listing price, but they wanted to keep it very low key, you know, personal privacy. And I think that's something that a couple foreigners have been having an issue with recently, understanding the culture. I don't know if you've heard about this, Rich, but there's been people doing things very high key and very blatantly, and not kind of ignoring the local culture in some ways. How do you explain that to the people that you work with?
Well, culture covers a lot of things, Sam.
Yeah.
But the first rule here is respect the culture. We don't need ugly Americans here. Anybody doesn't respect the people here and their cultures and traditions. We're guests. You know, we're the immigrants, and we got to respect everybody here. As far as people with privacy, some of the more well-to-do people do not want publicly knowledge that they're selling their place for different personal reasons. And, you know, so we respect that. And in this case, I would love to list this. I'd love to list this apartment. It's beautiful. And you know, she's an interior decorator at a very high level, and that's one of the most beautifully decorated, colorized, accessorized places I've ever seen in my life.
there's an incredible amount of design talent here. I mean, interiors as well as like we're seeing with the newer developments. It's amazing the new buildings. Yeah, so I mean, I guess, you know, if you're the people who do come down and expect the country and the people to adapt to them usually don't end up having a good time.
Well, hopefully those people will stay home.
All right, so there you go. You got Wake 2 in the background. Provenza expands. The lifestyle continues. The place sells itself. I guess you found a nice position you love doing, right?
I love selling Medellín lifestyle, not just real estate, but just living longer, better, healthier. I just had a meeting before you, Sam. The guy is an engineer, water tester. So Medellín is the clearest, purest, best water you've seen anywhere in the world. But you know, you got the climate, the people, the greenery, positive energy. And for 15 years, I'm trying to overcome the ignorance out in the world about Pablo's gone. He's not Narcos. It's a great city. And everybody's come down here. I've asked them, did I oversell this? They said, no. Didn't, I undersold it. But you got to get here to see it. If you don't come, you don't know.
You got to get here to see it. So I've been waiting for a trip. Now's the time to do it. This place is blossoming. We've got the Wake 1. I showed you guys earlier what that looks like here. This is a hybrid. They're also doing short-term rentals in the building as well. The developers are kind of catching on to the whole rental market. So if you want more information about real estate, any of the properties, you want to get in touch with Rich, send me. There's a link in the description. Send me an email below. I'll make you an introduction. You can set up a visit and come and see for yourself. It's hard to oversell this place.
Tell them, come. If this isn't better than I've said it is, lunch or dinner's on me, okay? How's that?
There you go.
Yeah.
A lunch back guarantee.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. We're gonna grab something to eat. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one.